Oh yeah, we should. You can't do that because they're not multiplying. Yeah. Right. Okay. I almost didn't get that, but saved myself. I'm stupid. Oh shoot. Dang it, I'm back on that curse where it's like I missed 1 point.
Would you rather miss more points?
No.
The 1 point.
I'd rather get that point. But like that's just like that has kept happening this entire semester.
Like a solid like 90, so whatever
I have
happens is.
like 5 hours to do
But what?
I have like 5 hours of the routine. That's why I hate like when it's being released because I gotta focus on homework. I'm
Yeah.
studying. But now I have like a game that has like over 100 hours of content. And it's like, what the heck, man?
I thought we were supposed to finish that review yesterday. That's definitely doing it.
That's horrible.
Because I thought we were supposed to have it done by Monday.
Oh, for real?
I waited until the end of advisory to ask Brian.
Oh. I had a Spanish travel project I had to do, and I forgot to finish I forgot I had a slideshow thing I had to do, and so like I fell asleep at 12:30. I woke up at 2 and I finished it at 3.
That's actually impressive if you can just like finish it in an hour in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I had like a couple hours of sleep, so I was like kind of fine, you know? So it was more functional than I usually am just staying up.
I don't know, I don't usually function on only a couple, but
Yeah.
how are you?
I don't know, man. I didn't even drink like 5 cups of coffee like I usually do.
You actually like normally drink 5?
Yeah, when I have to work.
Good job on the lead base.
I'm not sexual either though. I don't get it, man. I'm more responsible than Jake.
Who's Jake?
Jake Travis?
Oh. Yeah. So, how
Is
do
it
you
just
know?
because Jake was already base and was section leader? I don't know, man. Come on, I was being a brown nose this entire semester to do stuff. Come on. Maybe next year. I hope.
Mine got 20.
I gotta make a new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's sometimes stuff he does, it's just like, oh, I would do that.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the baseline.
I looked at that thing, but
I'm probably just gonna kind of do my own thing on the baseline. Because I'm not exactly fond of any of them. So.
I had to get that.
That's what we made it.
Yeah, I just don't want to be extra. Oh yeah, I got a bunch of acid I'm keeping down there. Crap. Okay, that was a stupid point I missed.
Things went from truck to
Look at this. That is such a stupid point I missed. I just didn't factor that.
Alright guys, on your desk you should have your 2.5 quiz. So if you remember, it's been almost a week since I've seen you, last Wednesday. And our plan on last Wednesday was to do test review on Wednesday and then test today, last unit test today. But instead, we spent one class period on the semester exam review. And I had highly suggested that it be questions 33 through 44, since they would be the type of questions on your next unit test. So with that shift, that means today is time for the test review, and we will have our last unit test on Wednesday. So probably a good idea for you to update your planner or whatever to remember about that on Wednesday. What I want to give you time to do today is give you just a couple minutes to look at your 2.5 quiz if you haven't yet, since that's part of what will be on your test. Anything you missed on your quiz is the stuff that you need to get sorted out before the test. And then sections 2.6 and 2.7, Those probably don't mean much to you because we didn't do anything out of the textbook, but that's all the rational function stuff. So that's what we've been practicing recently. Holes, vertical asymptotes, horizontal asymptotes, slant asymptotes, putting it on a graph, etc. So the main things we're going to look at today are, I'm going to take your questions from your 2-5 quiz, anything you'd like a refresher on. And then 2 is the test review. So the test review looks like this. And I gave it to you a couple weeks ago. I didn't number it at the time because I wanted it to be closer to our unit test. But now, today, I'm telling you it's 116. So you really need to find that in your binder because you should have the back page finished. If you can't find the back page, or I'm sorry, if you can't find it, I do have some extra copies on the table over there, but you will have to redo the back page, I guess, if your binder's not organized enough. So, if you don't have questions from your quiz, you can move on to this. Or if someone's asking a question you don't need help with from the quiz, you can move on to this. But instead of just giving you another 10 rational functions to practice every single thing, x-intercepts, holes, vertical asymptotes, horizontal asymptotes, slant asymptotes, domain, and graphing, the questions on here, if you haven't looked at them yet, are just kind of phrased in a different way. Try to get you to think about them differently. So, while we're all getting sorted here, just to give you an example of that, questions 1 and 2 here focus just on y-intercept. So one of these has a y-intercept, one of them doesn't. Forces you to think about what a y-intercept is and how could a function have a y-intercept or not have a y-intercept. So you need to identify which one of those two has a y-intercept, without a calculator of course, and then actually find the y-intercept of the one that has it. And then same idea for 3 and 4, but that's about x-intercepts. Same idea with 5 and 6, but it's horizontal asymptotes. Same idea with 7 and 8, vertical asymptotes. The only ones that you might want to find a little bit of everything would be 15 and 16. Those two say graph, but it doesn't say you have to find the vertical asymptotes. If you think you can graph it without vertical asymptotes, then don't do vertical asymptotes. I think it makes the graphing easier, but I will leave that up to you. And then the third page is graphing, but it's multiple choice. So really you could just find one thing, like maybe y-intercept, whatever you think's easiest. And if it narrows it down to one choice, you're done. And if it doesn't narrow it down to one choice, then find one more thing, and then maybe that narrows it down. So you don't really have to find all parts of all of those. Yeah, Luke.
Which paper is this? Sorry. On the quiz, if you have like 5 minus I as a factor, is it x plus 5 minus I and x minus 5 minus I?
It's always x minus, I'm about to take questions from the quiz,
Sorry.
but it's always x minus the 0. Distribute the minus.
So the last sign.
If you distribute the minus, yes.
Okay.
We can look at your specific question in a minute though.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so let me give you just a moment to look over your 2.5 quiz. I know a lot of you have already looked at that, but I would like to extinguish those questions first. Then I give you time to do your test review and get those questions answered as well. But just kind of thinking big picture here, we've got just a couple weeks left of class. This will be a 50-point test. If you have to take the final, or if you choose to take the final, you're also, remember, just because you can exempt it doesn't mean you have to. But the final will count as a 50-point test too. And just like first semester, we do let the final exam replace a low test grade. So if it's higher than your lowest, then we'll replace it. We won't replace it if it hurts you. But potentially in the last couple of weeks, there's several very good grade opportunities. So, yeah.
Have you found out a final schedule?
I don't know which test or which day, but it should be in your student announcement soon if it's not. Have you been checking your student emails? You should.
I check them, but I just don't.
If I was y'all, I would be looking at student announcements once each day for the rest of the year.
Alright.
You really should be looking at those anyway, but no, I don't know the exact one. Like I have a I had a printout of the bell schedule, like what days were A days and B days, and it was on there at one point, but I think they may have changed it since then, so I don't really want to refer to that. I think it's like Tuesday you take 2 tests, Wednesday 2 tests, Thursday 2 tests, Friday 2 tests. So like first semester, basically you take 2 tests in the morning, lunch. If you have a ride or transportation, you're welcome to leave. And if not, you gotta hang out in the cafeteria the rest of the day. But that way you have time in the afternoon to study for next day's test if you need to. One other plug I'll make on this, and then I really will be quiet for a moment to let you look at your quizzes, is of course you want to do well on this test, but make sure that you guys put in an extra effort here. If you prepare very well for this test, it should mean a higher test grade here. And then if you need to or have to take the final exam, this stuff's going to be on the final exam. So it would make studying for the final exam that much easier, knowing that you didn't actually have to review this stuff. I mean, you need to do that part of the test review, but not having to spend a significant amount of time on those question types would make that review process go easier. Okay, so let me give you just a moment. Look at your 2-5 quiz, start figuring out which questions you need help with or just want a reminder on. Guess I need to find my copies. 1 second. Okay, you got a question right now?
Is there different forms?
There are, but it's hard for you to know which one. Just tell me the question number.
7.
7. Okay, is yours x to the 4th minus x squared or minus 2x squared?
Minus 2x squared.
Okay, first thing I would do in question 7 is just find the zeros. So in this section, there's a lot of ways that you can go about finding zeros, and it kind of depends on the question and how much information we give you. No calculator, so we can't graph it. We should know it's 4 zeros because it's a 4th degree. Sometimes we give you a 0 or 2, and you can divide those out, get it down to a quadratic to find the last 2. But if none of those things are true, and you're trying to find the zeros, then we need to make sure that it's a question that will factor. So over here, x squared, 2 things that multiply to negative 24 but add up to negative 2. Now, this right here is almost good enough for your answer. These are factors, and the question says factors. It says product of factors. These factors are being multiplied, so it is product. But why are these factors not linear? Right. These are technically quadratic factors. So if you set this equal to 0 and solve, you get these two zeros. And if you set this equal to 0 and solve, this was by far the most common careless mistakes. Sometimes you guys are glancing at this and say that it's equal at 2 and negative 2. If it's x squared minus 4, that's true, but not plus 4. You need to actually work that out. Set it equal to 0, subtract the 4, take the square root of both sides. You're taking the square root of something negative. And now that you've got the zeros, you can do x minus each 0 to get it back to factors. And then this works because it's product. They're all being multiplied. Of linear because they're all x to the first. Factors because they're factors. This one shouldn't be any harder than questions 2 and 3 on the front page. But again, usually there's a few students who don't remember the directions, but I've tried to warn you about that as much as I could. So, okay, anything more specific about that? Okay, somebody else, another quiz question or two? Luke, did you have one?
I'm about the quiz, about the outcome test.
Okay, what's the question about the test?
I don't know if you can answer this, but do you expect us to have to use quadratic formula, or do you think everything will factor in?
Quadratic formula is certainly fair game. I mean, there was one question on your 2-5 quiz that just used quadratic formula, so I would not be surprised to see a question on your test that needed just quadratic formula. Now, I will say that you guys often try to overuse quadratic formula. There's a lot of quadratics that it wanted you to factor in here. And in theory, you can use quadratic formula to get the zeros, and then you could turn them into factors. But without a calculator, sometimes the quadratic formula is hard.
Yeah.
So, like if something factors nicely, that is what you want to do. You don't want to do quadratic formula if you don't have to. Okay. No more questions over the quiz? Okay, as it's been all year, of course, anything you missed on the quiz is more than likely going to show up on the test, so make sure that you learn from any mistakes that you had and get those sorted out. Okay, I know you guys have not had much time to look at the test review other than the back page, which you should have done a couple weeks ago. But has anyone tried any of the questions on the front page and know that you need to ask about them? There's no sense in waiting if you have some questions ready. If you cannot find your test review from a couple weeks ago, let me know. I can get you an extra copy. But again, you'll have to redo the back page, so ideally you find your own copy. Alright, then let me give you 10-15 minutes to try to get some of these questions behind you, see how they go, and then I will interrupt you and take the questions that you're finding.
Who's the extra copy? So is this one we're not supposed to do right now?
That's the semester test review. The semester test review you need to do before the semester test.
That's the final, right?
Yes. There's also 3 assignments that I need to give you some points for. One of them was a one-sided worksheet, number 114, where we looked at just x-intercepts versus holes versus vertical asymptotes. That was day 1. One of them is 115. That was the big packet where we took all the notes for rational functions and then did like 14 graphing questions. And 116, which is this test review. All of those are opened up in Google Classroom, so you're more than welcome to turn them in today as you finish. Otherwise, be prepared to hand them to me before we start the test on Wednesday.
That feeling when you like perfectly erase something with a full eraser.
You were saying, wow, you don't say the same thing every day.
Hey, didn't you talk about rat poison in your grandma or something last semester? Yeah, you talked about something like that. Or like if you were working at like a nursing home and like you had rat poison or something.
Diego, I'm glad that you're back, but you've got stuff to be doing.
And I was just getting a sip of water.
Okay, but you're also distracting people.
Jane, can I get 114? That must have been during one of my AP exams.
So I'm mine.
Is it in the handout bucket?
Yes, but some of the numbering is a little weird now.
We're gonna.
Oh, you get that.
So where's your chambers and everything? Really? Is that yours?
No.
Oh, very good.
It's Christian's.
Please, no. I hate spirit.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I had to wear one of those a while ago. I just stopped doing it for like 2 years. Like, it was really helpful.
I had a friend who,
Well, I had braces twice.
You want a free return?
After a point at least. I
You
mean,
good?
I wore it afterwards at night.
Those things are expensive
I just-
though. I can make bank off that. If I find.
Yeah, I like the dress.
So much for a retainer.
Christian, I had a
So
friend
much for a
that
retainer.
didn't use the retainer for a long time.
But
I
the
just had
retainer.
it sitting in this case for a long time, and like, it never changed.
It's your Johnson's
There
face.
was a magnet sitting in the retainer.
Make sure you use some like hand sanitizer.
Those things are expensive.
In there, there's just.
Also, she, right after she got her braces off, she ate this like, it was like an M&M.
Are y'all finished with this?
For 2
I'm trying to find mine.
It was great.
I'm scared I
Her
might have
teeth were
lost
all
it.
just so like loose, I guess, after getting the braces off.
Oh, God. Crap, I might have lost it.
Well, I've got extra copies, but you're gonna have to redo the back page if you can't find it.
Wouldn't deal with it.
I don't really mind that. I was mostly just probably gonna work on that.
Oh, was this when I had an exam?
I don't know, but it was like 2 weeks ago, so you should have gotten it and made it up by now.
I've never seen this thing in my life.
I haven't either, but I
When
had
you
it.
miss classes, your responsibility to get caught up.
Is it back here? I don't think so. Thank you. Going anywhere on vacation?
It's not right.
You are?
Yeah.
Where?
To Europe.
Oh shoot, I've never
When?
been to Europe.
Yeah.
Never been to a different
When are you
continent,
going to Europe?
actually.
I don't know. In June.
No,
I'm going to Europe in June. We will see each other there.
Like, not really.
Maybe. That would be funny.
I did find it.
That'd be crazy.
Good. So finish it.
Yeah, I found it.
I know. You're like 5 minutes in and you haven't done a question yet.
I have another question. I did this one before I found the original copy.
Okay.
Was she like, what's it called?
I equals what?
I don't know.
Yeah, my mom's in the
You want this back then? I can just erase.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's an extra copy. I don't need it back.
Okay, should I recycle it or something?
Corrupt.
Just keep it.
I don't need two though.
Yeah, it's
Well,
very
if you
corrupt.
lose your other one, throw it away
So,
next
like,
class
the
if you still have
president
it.
was, like, really, really corrupt.
Okay.
He was basically almost dictator.
Yeah.
He was like the guy that came in after the dictator. He was a president. And now, like, his wife is out.
Diego.
So basically, he's still in power. Again.
Diego.
I'm actually entertained by this
Diego.
story.
I don't care.
We're not talking about the political leader.
No, I want y'all to do your work. Y'all can visit afterwards.
This is tyranny.
Actually, I'm gonna guess that's her first time using that word in a sentence.
Yes.
Yeah. That is a good word, though.
Tyranny?
I just think it's a neat word.
Such a interesting critter.
What? Call me a critter?
No, not a critter. Interesting. I don't know what my mom looks like anymore.
Okay, guys, the next step is I'm making some new seats, and you're going to be away from everybody else the rest of the year.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that's a week.
That's fine. But also, you think I don't remember these things next year?
Uh-oh.
But like, you know.
Just do your work.
I thought they were off the board.
Just do it.
Oh,
So,
wait, I have
work.
to now.
It's not funny.
Mr. Townsend, don't we still have the day of school, the Tuesday after next week?
Yes, but the last week of school, that Tuesday is a makeup final day. So if you
Oh,
go to
so-
all your finals, you don't have to come that day.
I thought it was just another school day because of the snow day we had.
It is, but Dr. Miller made it a makeup final day.
Okay.
So
Go.
you guys can finish at the end of next week unless you're sick and you miss any of your finals, and in which case you'll have to be here the next Tuesday.
Is Monday a regular school day?
Monday's a holiday.
It is.
Alright, that makes sense.
Monday's a holiday, so
Okay.
there's no school.
This Monday, sorry.
Or something.
This Monday is today.
Next week, 1 week from now.
Next week is in full length.
Thompson, what are you smoking, dog? Get me on
I
that.
was just gonna say, did you say Friday and Monday is just right, working on that, semester review?
I didn't say.
Wait, so next Friday is last day of school, technically?
Yeah.
Is 1 week from now, do we have school?
Cool.
Yes,
Okay, but it's not a final day.
that's correct.
Okay.
Next week, Monday is a normal day. This week is all normal.
So,
Next Monday is normal. Tuesday will be 2 tests, Wednesday will be 2 tests, Thursday will be 2 tests, Friday will be 2 tests. The
What about
Monday
people
after
that
that
don't
is a
have
holiday, so there's no school, and then the Tuesday after that is if you missed any of your finals.
I think Blake's
And
still
we're
confused.
reviewing next Monday for the final.
I will give you time to work on the semester test review, that's correct.
Wait, so officially not next Tuesday, but the next Tuesday is the final day of school technically.
That's correct.
Hey,
Okay.
any day is the final day, if you just leave,
You should leave.
you should.
You should leave.
Sorry. It's a me.
That was good.
Can you get expelled from class for
Now's not the
disruption?
time.
What are these ones?
116. So it's between 115 and 117.
was 10 minutes, so you should have had a chance to look over all the stuff on the front page here. So questions 1 through 10 that I can help with. Okay, I don't know that you made it much further than that, but maybe 11 through 14. Anybody made it that far and have questions? Then I will give you another 10 or 15 minutes, and by then you need to know your questions by at least page 2.
Did you return the 114 and 115?
And this one, it'll be next class.
Oh.
I don't want to take them from you today. Or you can take pictures and put them in Google Classroom if you want to turn them in.
Yes, sir.
Whichever is easier for you.
And you said it'll be due by the next class?
Uh-huh. Before we start the test, I'll ask you to turn them in.
Yes, sir.
Because you don't need them while you're testing, so.
Yep.
Just one more minute here, and I'll let you guys ask questions from page 2. Or anything from page 1 if I moved on too quickly. Okay, page 2, questions 11 through 16. Any of those I can help out with by going over? No? Anybody else? Okay, I feel like page 3 is probably the easiest and quickest page, but let me give you a few minutes to look that over too also. that was only about 5 minutes, but again, that third page should be a little bit quicker. So any of these you'd like me to give you some tips on? Okay, any other pages that I've skipped over too quickly that you still had questions on? Just giving everybody a chance. Okay, so again, I would highly suggest you guys put in your planner or alarm in your phone to remind yourself to look over your stuff before our test on Wednesday. That'll be at the start of class. 3 assignments that I will pick up are all in Google Classroom if you're interested in what those would be, but you're encouraged to go ahead and just turn them in now, just in case you lost them or something. If you need to study for this test, I would definitely suggest that you do that, but if you're feeling like you're ready for this test and you guys still have about 30 minutes of class, if I was you, I would probably do a little bit of that semester test review. Again, it's pretty long, so if you're trying to do 5 or 10 questions a day, then it is pretty manageable, but if you're procrastinating and saving it all till right before the final exam, then it might end up being a lot. I guess that's your choice. Technically, it's not due until the day of the semester test. So, did anybody find the semester test schedule to know exactly when ours is?
Ours is Thursday. Or Friday.
I think ours would be Friday, because my English teacher said that ours would be Friday, and she's my third period, and I think they usually do third and fifth.
Yeah, it's like
Third and fifth together?
Yeah, I think last year,
It's the same
earlier
schedule.
this semester, they did first, seventh, second, eighth, third, fifth, and fourth, and sixth.
I'm gonna try to look it up. I'm gonna try to see.
Do you know what number this quiz was? 2.5.
113.
Huh?
113.
113.
Yes,
This quiz?
Yeah.
Friday.
I'm trying to leave early Friday. Because I got a 5-day camp out on that.
Later as possible. So it ended on.
So if we finish our final early in here, can we leave early?
No.
But I have a big camp out.
Well, reschedule.
It's 5 days though.
Well, that was poor planning.
This is targeted to me. You're bullying me, Mr. Johnson. That's a workplace violation.
Okay.
I finished this, by the way. I'm proud.
Okay, good.
My bad. Blowing bubbles over here. Oh.
Let's see, I'm writing down.
You know, I've never seen you blow your nose, Mr. Johnson. Do you have allergies?
It's so random.
Well, like, he just doesn't ever seem to get sick. Or takes no sick days.
I've been sick a few times this year. There's no point in
He's just tough.
complaining about it. It doesn't make me feel any better.
I'm still amazed by the fact that you went to your own wedding the same day as you did school. I think he did that just to flex on his friends. Did you wear your tux to school? Because that would be like,
Like, how did that work? Did you just, like, get off and go straight to the venue and, like, get ready?
as he's running to his car, he's like putting on his like tux pants and his vest and.
I went home and showered and got dressed and went.
Did you
How
have
late
to
was your
late
wedding?
Or, like,
I don't know,
was your
3
wedding
o'clock
just,
or
like,
something.
late in the day? The ceremony and stuff?
Huh?
Was the ceremony and stuff just, like, later in the day, so you have plenty of time to?
It was like 4 or 5 or something. I don't remember. There's enough time.
That's crazy. What did your groomsmen think? Did you have groomsmen?
Mm-mm. We just did justice of the peace.
Oh. That's crazy. Did you have any friends to go to your wedding?
Well, at the justice of the peace, you don't normally bring a lot of people. Like,
Oh.
You just bring like this. Okay.
yeah, you need a witness. Our parents went because they insisted, and my wife's brothers insisted on going. So that was already a lot of people for.
Did your wife go to work?
Oh, I was about to say.
No,
your wife go.
she's a slacker.
She's a slacker. I mean, it wasn't her wedding day at all, but.
She was originally, but then she changed her mind a few days before. So
I mean, that makes sense. It's your biggest day of your life. Unless you have like multiple marriages, but like. No, I'm not saying that.
Or like if you have kids, maybe. Like.
Well, kids are replaceable.
That's so awful to say.
Don't quote me. I'm already canceled, so.
Really? Really your mindset changes.
Who cares that much?
In case you have any.
the nice thing is, when y'all get married, you can do it the way you like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
I mean, I think it's kind of cool that you went to work.
we're glad you're happy. Are you happy?
I wasn't earlier.
Christian.
Why weren't you happy
Christian.
earlier?
Christian. I don't really think he cares. I would just.
Cares that I care about his feelings. Interesting.
Okay, I saw this off of the school website on the AB schedule. I have no idea. There's a chance that this has changed and they didn't update it, and I don't know. But it looks like this is the testing schedule.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
No?
Well, I remember how much of a nightmare Friday was last semester because I had to take like the really long chem one and then I had to take the pre-cal one. It was like a marathon.
Yep.
Oh, you are just exempt.
How many finals you got?
Okay, all my friends, except for AP Will, 'cause we already took
Now there
Get
is
them out there in the high schools.
one thing that I can offer y'all as far as the dates. So we're not allowed to give early finals, as in I can't give finals like this week or next Monday.
I got my final last
But
month.
if you want to take your final at a different testing time, if it's a testing time that I'm already giving pre-cal, then that is the same thing to me. Like it would be probably a different form, but it would still be the same semester exam. So that would be 0 hour A, 0 hour B, and first period, block 1. So if you don't have a final 0A, 0B, or block 1, and you'd rather take your pre-cal final during one of those times instead of on Friday, then that would be fine with me. But that's the only flexibility you've got. If you don't make it to any of those, then you need to be here. You need to email me and plan on being here that Tuesday morning the next day. Diego, I had a lot of students this year that had AP Chemistry and then AP Calculus back to back. And somehow we always give tests on the same days, so
That is real.
I always had.
you'll have
your
to factor that in when you
tests-
pick your schedule.
I always had your tests with my Spanish tests, and it was like, I don't know, it was just really annoying sometimes. Just having 2 tests in one day that I had to study for at the same time.
Well, 2, it could be 4, so. I said it could be 4 tests.
You're right, yeah.
Anyway, So y'all understand the 0A, 0B first period? If you'd rather take it during one of those instead of 5th, then you can, but otherwise, you'll need to be here 5th unless I tell you that you can exempt. But we'll worry about that stuff next week.